Oh my goodness, bro. You know what? Hold on real quick. We can't do this video like this. I'm not quite prepared because Matt Eberflus, bruh, what the feezy? Oh, we're about to jump into this, man. And I've been trying to figure out a way how to get you guys some content based off these film sessions I've been doing. My channel gets a lot of attention now, so the NFL, they be clapping my joint anytime I try to drop some film in a video. But we about to get into this because watching this tape and just watching this entire season, I'm going to tell y'all very, very plainly what is actually wrong, what is actually going on with this defense. And I'm going to let you know right now, bro, Matt Eberflus is 1,000% entering that territory that Big Mike McDonald's eating ass was in for us last season. It's time to go if you can't update your Rolodex, bro. Let's get right into it. And why do you keep doing this? Man, shut your up. All right, so I'm watching the tape, and I'm watching the tape. I'm just watching this whole thing, and I'm like, damn, I'm noticing something over and over and over again. So I need to go and see if I can find any supporting evidence or any supporting statistics, anything that tangible, any empirical data that would support what I was seeing on the film. And I found it, and I found it pretty quickly. I'm going to ask you guys something. Those of y'all that understand football, those of you that consider yourselves ball knowers, I'm going to give you a riddle. And I want you guys legitimately to go down in the comments below right now as you're watching the video and answer this question while I continue this rant. Because I'm about to go off on Matt Eberflus's cowardly coaching ass. I'm about to start calling Matt Eberflus Courage the Cowardly Dog in this mug because, bruh, look at this passing chart. And if I were to tell you that the defense that this quarterback got this passing chart against was primarily in a cover 4 or cover 3 zone look, what would this passing chart kind of indicate to you? What would this passing chart imply the onus lays on, the onus falls at the feet at, as it pertains to where is the soft point in the defense that the offense is taking advantage of? Just look at this chart for a second. Look where you are. Beneath 10 yards, you're outside the numbers. You're essentially either in the flat or in that hook curl type area. What that would indicate to you, especially if you are playing a cover 3 or cover 4 look, essentially a lot of this responsibility is going to fall on one of two parties. And sometimes a third party can be involved depending on the responsibilities and if there's any kind of tweaks or unique aspects to that particular defense employed on the field. But primarily speaking, and specifically with the Dallas Cowboys, I can tell y'all right now, they're not doing anything exotic. They're not doing anything that would confuse anybody. They're not dropping big backs into coverage and grabbing picks like the Chargers did against Tush Push Hurts, which we're going to have another show later, making fun of their ass too. We got to have a little bit of fun on the channel as well. Find some bright spots where we can. But a lot of the onus lays on the linebackers, the nickel backer, or sometimes, very rarely, especially in this part of the field, the safety, okay? That's essentially what you're looking at. Those are the three positions you're going to be looking at when you see a passing chart that looks like this. There's nothing in the deep quarter area of the field. There's nothing really in the middle of the field for real, which would indicate to you, and I'm going to kind of talk to you about who was actually playing mostly in the middle in this game based off of the alignment and how guys were kind of offset and stuff. But there's all of these completions, all of this success is essentially falling in that hook curl / flat area of the field. And when you're playing a cover 3, cover 4, those are your linebackers. That's your linebacker and your nickel backer. So this was a play early in the game for Jahmyr Gibbs. He ran to the left side for 19 yards, and Quinnen Williams actually ended up being the guy that got the tackle 19 yards down the field. So that should say a lot right there by itself. Let's take a look at this thing real quick. So right here, you see that you have Kenneth Murray over here. You have DeMarvion Overshown right here. You got Dante Fowler and James Houston as your defensive ends, essentially. And then you got Quinnen Williams and Kenny Clark in the middle of your defense. All right, let's play the clip. Let's play the clip a little bit. Boom. Right here, Demo is communicating. He's letting Kenneth Murray know right now, hey, they are giving the ball to Jahmyr Gibbs. Look out for Jahmyr Gibbs. Boom. Look at this play. First of all, what is Kenneth Murray doing? Right now, I can tell you there is no reason that he should be taking this path to the ball, to the direction where the ball is going, right? Now, if Jahmyr Gibbs has the ball in his hand at this point, Kenneth Murray, put the brakes on. Put the brakes on. Make a move on this big back. If you stick your foot in the ground, you should be able to cut back on the inside shoulder of this bit back, bro, and have him overrun the play, and you should be able to cut back in and make Jahmyr Gibbs bounce that out a little bit more, even further outside, or you should be able to actually just streamline to him, target inside of his hip, and make a play, bro. Now, look at how this plays out. Kenneth Murray took himself out of the play. He completely took himself out of the play. Now, this isn't necessarily showcasing what I was just talking about in that cover 3, cover 4 type look. There's other plays in the game. Again, I'm kind of anxious about trying to show too much film in this. There's other plays in the game that will just show you, man, they are absolutely taking advantage of the communication aspect, the responsibilities that those guys playing that triangle, essentially that Bermuda Triangle over there in that cover 4 look, they are absolutely taking advantage of the linebacker and the safety in the corner that's over there, y'all. So let's let the play continue going. Look at Kenneth Murray. He never, ever makes an attempt to try to get back into play. Never, ever makes an attempt to try to get back into play. And I ain't gonna lie, looking at it from this angle, I do not like DeMarvion Overshown having to put that type of torque on his body. That is scary right there. So Demo can do this on the very same play. He can try to stick his foot in the ground. I mean, and that looks scary as hell. And Kenneth Murray can't give you this type of effort, bro. But Demo can on a bum leg or coming back off of a bum leg. That's just a small example of what I was talking about, what I'm about to be talking about in this entire video as it pertains to Kenneth Murray. Now, why am I making a big deal about the cover 3, cover 4? Why'd I go so far as to put Matt Eberflus is coaching like a coward in my title? Because he is. When do you guys believe he actually uses man coverage? I'm going to tell you right now, in this game against the Lions, there was a lot of zone coverage, and I actually expected there to be a lot of zone coverage. And had Amon-Ra St. Brown not played, I'm not sure if that plan would have been the same. And based off the way that the guys just kind of looked off balance, I would go so far as to ask that question the next time a media member had a chance, is to ask Matt Eberflus and that defense and that coaching staff, did they change their game plan at all based off of whether or not Amon-Ra St. Brown would play? Did they have different game plans based off of whether or not Amon-Ra St. Brown would play? That is a question I really want to know the answer to, because as of thus far this season, Matt Eberflus has only played man coverage against teams with lackluster receiver rooms and very minimal outside threats. He's played primarily zone coverage. It's not 100% zone, but it's a lot, and I mean majority zone coverage against teams like the Lions that have receiving threats, that have an Amon-Ra St. Brown and a Jamison Williams, against teams like the Green Bay Packers, against all these teams that we've seen these huge scoring outbursts from that have legitimate weapons. We've seen a lot of zone coverage. Why am I bringing this up? Because it's a symptom of coaching in a cowardly manner. The reason you're reverting to zone coverages against teams with legitimate weapons is because you're trying to, quote, keep everything in front of you and prevent anything from getting over the top. While doing that, however, you're putting way too much stress on the front 4 of your defense to get home, because in addition to doing this, you're also not bringing more than 4 guys on rushes a lot, if at all, in these games, man. And the times where you do bring pressure, you're getting a little bit more favorable outcomes than the times that you don't bring pressure. I'll say this, the times that you have brought pressure, you have probably suffered less consequences than the times you've just tried to play straight up and outright zone. Because what you're doing, and this is where I have to agree with Trevon Diggs, right? What you are doing is you are eliminating the aggression of your defensive backs, especially with the type of defensive backs that you have. There is no way in hell that I thought when we drafted Savon Revel Jr., you could go back to my first video I ever made mentioning Savon Revel Jr., and I've been telling you from the jump, he is an amazing press man corner. Amazing press man corner. Zone, not as much. You're neutralizing a lot of his superpowers, which is that ability to be physical, that big body, the length, the ability to disrupt the play. When you're only allowing your DBs to, for one, play with a ton of cushion because they're having to play a zone. So obviously they're going to keep everything in front of them anyways. They're not going to play press man in a zone because at that point you're going to put the whole defense on the string if a guy beats you or get past you or gets a step on you or anything. The play is essentially over and it's probably going to be a touchdown. But when you're doing that, you're making your guys have to, one, play in an uncomfortable position. They're almost playing out of phase when they're like this because of the type of guys you have. DaRon Bland and Savon Rebel and Trevon Diggs. I'm actually going to stand up for Trevon Diggs right here. And Trevon Diggs. Those guys are all press man type corners. And Reddy Stewart, I will say this as well. Reddy Stewart has looked better this season when he's been in man coverage versus being in the zone. Reddy Stewart, I feel like, has done his best work playing press man or being up on his guy. These dudes are not able to play aggressively in these zones and against competent coordinators and against competent offenses. What we are seeing happen to our defense, it is very simple. We do not have to stress ourselves. We don't have to rack our brains. What we saw from the Lions and against this new defense is literally the whole issue that we've been having with this defense, bro. What is going to happen against a competent offense is they are simply going to pick that team apart. They're going to play pitch and catch. Guys are going to run to a proper depth. They're going to break their route off, and they're going to find a soft spot in the zone, settle down, and flash their numbers towards their quarterback, and boom, you have a completion. That's all that's going to happen, especially when the quarterback is able to complete his full drop, get in rhythm, and throw in rhythm because you're not even bringing any extra pressure. You're not even buzzing the safety down from the weak side of the defense or anything. You're not doing anything. You're not blitzing. You're not bringing five-man pressures often enough. We didn't see enough of that five-man front against the Detroit Lions, and you're playing way too much zone against teams with really good receivers and really good quarterbacks. If anything, I almost feel like that's counterintuitive because I've always felt like the better way to approach playing the better quarterbacks is to, for one, you have to mix up your coverages. You cannot play the same coverage all game. And the Cowboys were in the same coverage a lot of this game. I was watching this and I was like, there is no way that I'm seeing what I think I'm seeing, bro. There's no way I'm seeing what I think I'm seeing. They're staying in the same coverage the whole game. For one, you're going to have to mix up your coverages. Two, you got to play more man. You got to press these guys come off the line of scrimmage because if anything, your only hope against top-level talent in the NFL is to get them out of their pocket, get them out of their rhythm, get them off their timing, even if it's just a little bit. It may cause an errant throw. Pass may be a little bit behind a guy, maybe a little bit in front of a guy, maybe a bit over his head, maybe a bit high, bit low, bit short, whatever. Get them off of their rhythm. You can't play cover 3, cover 4 the whole game. Have your guys given 10 yards of space, given 10 yards of cushion before the ball is even snapped, and then have them continue to backpedal. Their first steps when the ball is snapped are backwards. No way. At least disguise it. Let these guys come up. If you're going to play those type of zones, man, let Revel play his guy off the line of scrimmage and have him backpedal into coverage. Just to knock off the rhythm a little bit. Let him put hands on the guy. Knock him off his stem a little bit. Whatever you need to do. But the way Matt Eberflus is coaching is very cowardly because he's only letting his guys man up against teams with less than talent at the receiver position. And I feel like, man, the best defenses in the league, they have the ability to go cover 0. They have the ability to go cover 1. They have the ability to go blitz. They have the ability to buzz a safety down. They have the ability to take chances on defense the very same way we want the offense to be more explosive. We want the offense to stretch the field. We want the offense to modernize itself. We want the offense to make the defense have to actually play the entire field. And the offense is now doing that the very same way we want them to do that. Matt Eberflus, you guys have to coach a little bit more aggressively. You have to coach in a way that's going to cause explosive plays, man. Instead, you're relying on other teams to make mistakes instead of trying to force those mistakes. You're relying on other teams to make mistakes instead of trying to force those mistakes. And the problem is the type of defense that you're running out there An NFL quarterback, an above average or even a slightly above average NFL quarterback is going to tear that up every single time. A receiver that understands not to run right into a guy's zone or run right into a guy's chest when you're out there in the middle of the field trying to find some open space. A receiver that understands, let me break my run. Let me break off at this depth right here, come a flash across the safety's face, and I'm good. A receiver that understands that they're going to kill you every single time, especially if you're not getting pressure. And that was the main problem, is we were not able to get enough pressure on Jared Goff playing that soft of coverage. And honestly, I think that you would have been much better off. And at this point, we've seen them give up 40-plus points multiple times playing these primarily zone looks. So guess what? It can't get any worse, Matt Eberflus, goofball. It can't get worse, fool. You're giving up 40-plus in multiple games. It cannot get worse. So let your guys man up, play physical, play to their strengths. Get Kenneth Murray off the field, because that's the other part. You're playing all this cover 3 and cover 4, and Kenneth Murray cannot do it. He cannot cover in space. He cannot process fast enough to be out in the open field and be responsible for making decisions. And just in general, he needs to be off of the field, because I'm going to tell y'all, bro, if you watch this tape, you'll notice the first 30 to 45 minutes of the tape, man. Logan Wilson got on the field for 2 drives. Both of those drives resulted in punts. He came off the field after the second drive of the game. I think he didn't start the first drive. Kenneth Murray started. Logan Wilson came on the second drive. They forced a punt. After they got a touchdown, obviously Detroit did the first drive. Then Kenneth Murray came back on the field for like two possessions straight, maybe 2 or 3 possessions straight. Detroit pretty successful on those drives. Then Logan Wilson got back in. Forced the punts, bro. And I'm not saying Logan Wilson was forcing it. I'm saying the alignment's better and guys are able to at least kind of play the style of defense that Matt Eberflus is trying to make these guys play a little bit better, because Logan Wilson is a better coverage linebacker. He's a much better coverage linebacker. He understands spacing. He understands depth. He understands how to carry a guy through his zone. He has better recognition, and I think he processes faster than a Kenneth Murray Jr. does, and that's why he's the better option out there on that field. And Shotty, quit lying to us, bro. Because I'm watching this game and I'm like 45, 50 minutes through, and I'm just like thinking to myself, like, yo, where are these great plays that Kenneth Murray made according to Brian Schottenheimer? I don't see any. I see a bunch of what I just showed y'all. Him overrunning plays, running into the chest of blockers, taking himself out of plays, taking a false step, a wrong step. He always starts going the wrong. Every time, most of these plays, just look at his first step is always wrong. His first step is always wrong, bro. So Kenneth Murray has to come off the field. I'm not sure why they are continuing to split the time between Logan and Kenneth Murray. It's actually hurting your defense. When you're doing that's going to hurt your defense overall from a continuity aspect. And quite frankly, I think the Cowboys need to just establish actual legitimate starters at these different positions, because this whole platoon thing and having different platoons of guys coming in and different packages of guys and stuff coming in, man, these dudes are not coming in and they're not in the rhythm. They're not caught up to the speed of the game. I don't think they're coming in within the flow of the game. And it's getting you jacked up, bro. It's getting you jacked up. Just looking at this thing straight up, it's absolutely getting you railroaded. And this dude right here, man, I'm going to tell y'all something. I began to get worried about Matt Eberflus when I saw this quote earlier this season, bro. When I seen him make this quote and they asked him, what did he do during his time away from football after the Chicago Bears fired him? He said 2 things are going to happen. We're going to get closer together. We're going to get closer to the Lord. Eberflus told them. To me, we accomplished those 2 things, and it was a good time with the family. I knew we were in trouble because I love the Lord too, but I'm going to say this right now, and I may be being a caveman by saying this in this context, but damn it, I don't want my defensive coordinator being a Bible thumper. I want him being a steel eater. I want him out there eating just nails and bolts and screws. I want him to have a few screws loose. I want him to be out there damn near on some Bounty Gate type time. I want him out there feeding and breeding savages, bro. Not trying to create a new group of Jehovah's Witnesses. And I'm not trying to be funny, man. Yeah, again, I love the Lord. But damn, bro, I knew he was in trouble. I was like, oh, Lord, dude don't even sound hungry. This don't sound like a dude that's going to come in and have dudes trying to bite off kneecaps, as Dan Campbell would say. This worried me when I heard it. And all jokes aside, Matt Eberflus, man, his seat has to be as hot as Satan's fucking toilet seat, bro. His seat got to be hot as hell. Y'all already know a normal toilet seat get hot when your booty on that mug long enough, sitting on there scrolling through TikTok and stuff. So imagine Satan's toilet seat. That mug's super hot. roast, right? Matt Eberflus, bro. Quit being a damn coward, bro. Quit only allowing your guys to play man, to play let me beat the guy in front of me football whenever you feel like there's less than talent on the other side of the ball, bro. Quit taking your players out of positions to be successful. Again, I'm going to stick up for Trevon Diggs right here. There's no way with Savon Revel should we be playing this much zone. No way. No way with Deron Bland should we be playing this much zone. No way. I don't care if you have to have a two-man over the top. I don't care if you have to have two-man hot to make sure you get nothing over the top and just allow the corners to man up, bro. But what we're doing with these zone coverages, you're giving up 40 points a game regularly, bro. It's not working. It's not safe football, bro. Quit being a coward. Quit being a coward. Straight up, bro. I mean, that's just, I don't know how to simplify it anymore for you guys. I don't know how to simplify it anymore for you guys. He's not bringing enough pressure. He's not blitzing enough. He's not utilizing the A-gap as far as bringing linebackers up the A-gap enough because the Lions destroyed our protection coverages for the Cowboys doing that. They caused so much confusion doing that. He's not bringing linebackers up the A-gap. He's forcing his guys to play cover 3, cover 4, and give guys a cushion. And I guess they're coaching these dudes. Their first steps need to be going backwards. When they're already 10 yards off the ball, don't make no sense. I mean, receivers are just out there with free releases all day, having the best time of their life. It's taking your corners out of the play to where they can't even try to contest or be disruptive to the play. There's so much that you can literally just look at. Just look at. And it's not even about, the detail. Bro, it's very obviously a scheme issue. It's very obviously scheme. You can't play this scary. Like Shoddy said after the Denver Broncos game, he told Dak, don't ever let me coach that cowardly again. Don't ever let me coach like that again. Matt Eberflus, your coach. Is anybody on defense going to tell Matt Eberflus? Well, Trevon Diggs tried, and they sent his ass home. So, I guess. You know what? I'll be man enough to say this, bro. Trevon Diggs, I may have gave you too much crap about the man thing with Matt Eberflus, but I still don't appreciate all the other stuff you've been doing, bro. I ain't gonna lie. That's the way you do stuff. It's the way you do stuff without being distracted. But you have a point. I'm not saying you're right with how you going about doing everything, but you absolutely have a point with this Matt Eberflus stuff. Y'all know it's real. Y'all know I have to be absolutely disgusted at this point watching the same thing take place time after time after time again. And every time we have a good game on defense, it's the same reasons why we played more man. He'll allow their guys to be physical. You probably seen guys pressing dudes coming off the line of scrimmage. You got some pressure. He brought some blitzes. You seen some more 5-man fronts than what you saw against the Lions. You didn't see a lot of 5-man fronts against the Lions for some reason. Don't know why, but you didn't see that a lot either. Don't know why. You know what I'm saying? So it's just Matt Eberflus, man, he gotta go. He gotta go. I don't believe in the scheme, and I don't believe in whatever his vision is for this defense. And I know after last week against the Chiefs, and I'm like, they held them to 20 points. They absolutely did that. But the way in which they did it, we asked ourselves, was this a sustainable way for them to play football? No, it's not. It's not sustainable. It's not sustainable that you're going to come up with the timely turnovers and stuff that you've been coming up with on special teams. And, it's not sustainable that you're going to get the kind of calls, the DPIs and OPI and different calls you got from the referee. It's not sustainable that you're letting teams convert 10 out of 17 fourth downs on the season. That's not sustainable. It's not sustainable that teams are almost 50% converting on third down against your defense. It's not sustainable, right? There's a lot of stuff going on with this defense. And again, I wanted to give Matt Eberflus credit so bad because, when my boys are right, I'm with my boys. But this ain't right. It's just not right, y'all. And it's time to start turning up the heat on Matt Eberflus. And the more we keep seeing the same foolishness, the more we see Kenneth Murray on the field more than Logan Wilson, there's no reason why that should be happening at this point. The film shows there's no reason why that should be happening. And I'm going to tell y'all there were very few positive plays, if any, from Kenneth Murray in that game against the Detroit Lions. And I'm not even being dramatic. I'm not trying to railroad the young man or nothing like that. Maybe he's just not the best fit for the role he's being asked to play on this team, this particular moment. Real talk. But, I'm done. I'm done ranting about Eberflus right now, y'all. Be sure to subscribe to the channel, though, because we're going to be back, and y'all know we got to laugh at the trash pitches. But how? Them cows.
Calling me, texting me, paging me, asking me, am I still them boys? Y'all usually check on me. Listen. I'm still them boys. Hey! Woo! Hey! I'm still them boys.